In this video, I'll be showing you how to set the start and end time to an auction, and then I'm also going to explain the differences between setting a start time and a publish time, and then there's also kind of a few things that can change the actual real end time on an auction, and I'll be walking you through that as well. So I'm just going to load up an auction now, give it a title, /end time. That's perfect. Let's make it a timed auction, and then the first thing you'll see right underneath the type is the start time. And what this is the time that the auction starts. So if you click on the little icon next to the start time, it'll open up a calendar. And the calendar will default to today or the day that you make your auction. So you can also click on the months, you'll have a drop down, set it to whenever you want. Same with the years, you can set it both forward and back. And then you just click on the day. And then if you want to set the time, you just first of all use the hour slot here, click and drag, and then that's your 24 hours in a day. So if you wanted to start at 2 p.m, you drag it till there. And then underneath is the minute one. You can again click and drag, and that'll set it to whatever time you want. And then once you're finished, you click on done. And then you rinse and repeat the process for the end time. So click on the calendar, pick the day that you want the auction to end, pick the time, and then click on done. Now there's a few things I want to mention about the end time. The first thing being that if you are using closing groups or soft closing or any kind of extended bidding on your auction, this will affect the actual overall end time. So if you do use any of those things, you should consider that the end time that you set on the auction really the beginning of the end time. So this will be when the first item ends. So let's say you have 10 items and you have them set to close 1 minute apart. Then the actual end time will be 10 minutes after you set the end time on this edit auction page. I hope that makes sense, but basically if you use extended bidding, there's no way of telling when the actual time will end, but what we can do is decide when the first auction, or the first lot will start to end. Again, if there's any extended bidding, then that lot might not close at the exact time that you set it to. So keep in mind that you might have to give a couple of minutes, give or take, depending on how many lots you have on an auction, for all the lots to actually close. And then now I'm going to differentiate between the start time and then the actual publish time. So I've already added some lots, I've already set all the auction, all that information. And then basically if you notice that the first time you click on an edit auction page on a new auction, there's no published or preview buttons. But then if you click on save after adding all your information and then go back to the edit auction page, you'll find at the very top a preview and a published tick box. And now what published does, if you click on published, is it will show the auction on your front page. So it is possible for you to have an auction that doesn't open up yet, that isn't available to bid on, but that is visible on the home page. And to do that, you just set the auction start time to a date in the future, but you set the auction to published. So that means that people can look at the auction beforehand, see if there's any lots that interest them, so on and so forth. You can also choose to only publish the auction when the auction is live, and all you have to do for that is just make sure that the published tick box is unticked, and then when the auction actually does start to open, you just click on published, hit on save, and then the auction will be visible from the home page for any bidders to check out. If you're unfamiliar with any extended bidding, threshold, and closing groups that I mentioned in this video, I will have some other videos linked in the bottom that you can reference to get a bit more comfortable with those notions. But as far as this video, you now know how to start and end an auction. You know that sometimes the timing might change on the end time, and you know that just by creating an auction, it doesn't necessarily show it to the front page. You have to be sure to click on publish so that the auction is visible, whether it's upcoming or whether it's currently live. Thanks for watching.